So right now, Israel's kind of on high alert again as Iran is firing cluster munitions, not only from Iran, but they're also firing it from Lebanon, where Hezbollah is located. So it's a weapon difficult to intercept. So deadly, they're widely banned. It may violate the laws of war. Not that Iran cares about that. I'll give you an idea fundamentally of what they are. Comes over like a ballistic missile, right? Try to block it. If you do, in fact, intercept it, it doesn't mean the rocket stopped. It means some of the bomblets that are inside can go to the ground, and they can be just as dangerous. And they all don't detonate at the same time. As you see the doors open on this rocket, it's happened about 11 times so far, and then out come all the bomblets. And they'll spread out wide and far. Random targets. Really, I guess you're saying they're targeting civilians. You're not looking at military sites. You're looking to hurt as many people as possible. 11 have been killed by this weapon, and that shows how, I think, desperate they are. They're in a situation where they're trying to hold on to their country that's been under severe attack from the two most lethal air forces and armies in the world, Israel and the U.S. Let's bring a retired battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Darin Gaub. Colonel, good to see you. First off, on these cluster munitions, does it surprise you Iran and Hezbollah has gone to this?
Brian, no, not at all. I mean, I guess if you're looking for the difference between America and Israel and Iran, this cluster munition is exactly the difference between us. We go to great pains and great lengths to ensure that we don't cause civilian casualties and damage to infrastructure that isn't necessary to our objectives. In Iran is, they don't consider civilian casualties to be an issue. They're going to go ahead and bomb whoever they have to and take in all the non-combatants and kill as many as they possibly can. So that's the difference between them and us. I'm not surprised at all that they're using these now.
What do your sources say is the success we're having so far in hitting the missile sites, the rocket sites, the drone sites, and now targeting commanders in the IRGC?
Yeah, Brian, that's key is just the numbers, the sheer numbers of what's happening right now with regards to missiles and drone launches and everything is down to about 5% it was at the beginning, and that happened very rapidly. Now, you're still going to see these happen, of course. It's not perfect yet. We haven't covered the entire nation. But when you just look at how much Iran is launching now versus what they launched in the initial days of this entire attack by us, those numbers have gone way down, and that allows us to operate in the skies over Iran almost with impunity, hitting targets as we want to now.
So I understand the Arab states, the Gulf states, have missile defense, and we've seen it be extremely effective. But the goal of the Iranians is to kill that missile defense, I'm sure with the coaching of the Russians. In other words, kill the eyes by striking the warning radars, kill the aim by targeting the radars and the guide interceptors, and third, destroy the batteries by hitting the launchers themselves. What kind of success have the Iranians had in doing that in Oman, UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar?
Limited success. I've only heard of a couple of those, but not only is Russia helping, China is helping as well. It's in both of their best interest to see the Gulf go up in flames essentially and us be weakened in general. But overall, though, I'd say that the air defense systems throughout the region have been very successful. Their degradation is minimal and able to be replaced fairly quickly. And you see that in the results of how successful Iran strikes have actually been. Combine that with our ability to constantly target and continuously target their air defense systems, their missile and drone launcher systems, as well as the logistics in support of it. That's the reason why you see Trump saying today that we're so close to being able to call an end to the military side of this and move on to, in my opinion, what was actually one of the harder phases of this is what comes next.
Right. We have wiped out their Navy, but they have those fast boats, and there's like 70 to 80% of them are still in existence, and they're hitting the tankers from land. They're not hitting them from the sea. Thanks so much, Lieutenant Colonel. I appreciate it. Lieutenant Colonel Gaub, thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.